Okay, when I was 18, I moved out of my parents' house. And I just want to describe a little bit about our neighborhood. We lived in this kind of, it was called the Rosemere neighborhood of Vancouver, Washington. It's this slightly trashy, well, there were like roses and chain link fences and ranch-style houses, that kind of thing, like very, like my pastel rock collection in the front of my yard, whatever. And we had neighbors on both sides. One, the house was always empty, but the other side, it was a very small house. And there were always these really, like, kind of thick, hunky guys that were, like, coming in and out of this tiny little house. And I knew that, and I was like, you know, what's going on here? And my mom's like, oh, that's Chip. That's Chip. And I'm like, cool, you know. And so my sister would, like, go hang out in the side yard with her bikini in a bag. In, like, it came in a little bag, this bikini that came in a bag. It was so small. And she would sit on the lawn chair, and, like, Chip was, like, mowing the lawn, and she was, like, whatever, you know, like, applying oil and lotion. And I was like, oh, whatever, it's totally boring. So I had to get out of this house, and my friend Renee was like, I've got this great studio in downtown Vancouver. It's at the Fontana Court Apartments. It's all adobe. It's got a breakfast nook, and the closet there's a bathroom past the closet. You go into the walk-in closet and then go into the bathroom. And I was like, that sounds great. And I worked at Fred Meyer Nutrition Center at the time, and I was bored off my ass because it was separate from Fred Meyer then. And I used to kind of walk around. No one was ever shopping for health food in like 1991. Like, oh, and so I would pretend there were people. And once I found a joint on the floor, but it was like I didn't really, well, smoke that a lot. But so what I would do for fun is I would take the bulk food and I would release it all over the floor, and then I would sweep it up. And I hated this job so much. And so, but I had a job. So I thought, you know, this is good. I'll get the apartment. So I got in the apartment with her, and we were also, I have to say, we were and still are totally into fonts and astrology. Kind of, both of those things have to do with this story. But we would just spend hours of reading about transits and planets in transit, and like, I have Uranus in the third house, and like, whoo, like, Uranus in the second house, actually. It's like strange work, strange values, like all this kind of stuff. Work from unexpected places. I just decided to quit my job, because whatever, you know? I just got an apartment. So I quit my job because I was like, I don't like that job, it's boring. And but then I couldn't get a job, and then I went to the Vancouver Mall, and there was a place called Merry-Go-Round that was like a really hip happening clothing store, like Sell It Baby, whatever kind of store, and I wasn't like that at all because I had like a beret on and was reading about like Saturn transits. But I was like, I got it, I'm gonna do it. So I dressed up like this kind of hip hop raver kind of person. And I walked in and was like, yeah, I can sell this for you. And I'm so excited, like totally stoked to work here. And they hired me, and then I didn't know what to do there because I couldn't sell anything. And I was just like, don't you love the smell of leather? And someone was like, I'm getting out of here. Or like, a customer came in and he was like, hey, is it true what they say? Fire on the head, fire in the bed. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, it was just like either getting totally like verbally molested or just like completely striking out on selling anything. And the regional manager was like, it's okay, I couldn't sell anything either. That's why they made me the manager. Like, just stay here. You look so cool. Like, just whatever. Fake it. But I finally got fired because I couldn't sell a damn thing. And so then I'm living in this apartment, and through this big party. I mean, we had painted all the walls red, and 'cause we both have fire signs, and and we had this sculpture, this photograph of a sculpture on the door that was of this hanging man. We thought it was so awesome, and we got kicked out of the building because we were too weird. And so we found another apartment called the Wisteria Court, and I didn't have a job, but her mom co-signed the apartment. And I went to Jansen Beach to look for a job. And I was like, J.K. Gills. Stationery, fonts, books. And so I go in, and I hated it. I hated it first, right off the bat. First of all, no one goes to Jansen Beach. Second of all, there were like 12 people working there, but we had to stay on our own stations and then use the microphone to say, like, when a customer would come in and say, somebody needs some help in calendars, and I'm sending them back right now. And then they would go back, and I hated it. I felt like my soul was getting ripped apart. It was definitely not my 6th house of work or my 12th house of career. Or I mean, my 10th house of career. So one day, but I didn't want to quit. Like, I had never really quit a job. Like, I felt like I was letting them down because I just started like 2 weeks before. And so I went in and I asked to see the manager, and I said, can I see you? And she said, yeah. And I said, so I have something to tell you. My parents, I said, I'm gay. And my parents don't know, which is total lie. They totally knew. And the guys next door were total gay strippers. And, but I was like, I'm totally gay, and I'm gonna, my parents, like, don't know, and I'm gonna move to Germany to my uncle's house, and he's been living there for so long. And she's like, honey, don't, like, you gotta tell your parents. And I was like, it's just not gonna work. Like, I'm getting on a train, I'm gonna get far away from here, and I can't work here anymore. I can't work at J.K. Gills because I'm gay and I can't tell my parents. And that's it.